Wait, is that why your face looks like that?
Bicycle face. The bulging eyes. The clenched jaw. Some people call it resting bitch face, but apparently in Victorian times.
Welcome to So Much Crime, So Little Time. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Dee, and we're getting ready to listen to The Vanishing Cyclist from Crime Next Door on the BBC.
In this episode, we're not going to discuss the series at all. We're going to do that in our next episode.
Right now, though, let's see who knows more about the time, the place, and whatever other random trivia Dee pulls that's tangentially related to the story.
All right, Dee, if you're ready, let us hop in the time machine.
Doo-doo.
All right, Dee, this crime took place on September the 29th, 2017 in Scotland, Fort William, Scotland. I'm very excited about what I have, but do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You go first. Mine is so connected to the story and so fun that I want to hold you in suspense for longer.
So I have the number one song in the U.S. In 2017, you were in Ireland, correct?
Yeah, we'd just gotten married that summer.
Okay. All right. Done a lot of 2017, actually. We've been in this year. A lot of crime that year, I guess. I don't know what was going on in the world, but a lot of crime. Okay. The number one song in the U.S., it was number one on the Billboard Hot 100 chart at the end of September 2017. I had never heard this song before, but this was a huge song, apparently. I'm going to see if you can get it. This one I thought was harder. You might think this is way easier. This was the lead single from the 6th album by this artist. It polarized the music critics. Some called it a fierce return and an interesting move to reclaim the artist's public narrative. Others found the production and themes vindictive, harsh, and off-putting. And then I have one positive critic and one negative critic. And then I have the lyrics. Positive critic is Sarah Carson from the Daily Telegraph, who loved it, said the work, described the work as blowing past the production cliches of clap tracks and hiccuped syllabic hooks that have proliferated across top 40 fare in recent years with boldly inventive textures and fresh, melodic, rhythmic, and sonic accents. A lot of words there.
Sonic accents.
Uh-huh. And then a negative review. This is Lindsay Solads, I don't know how to say her name, from The Ringer, who said the song unleashed on a deeply confused public late Thursday night.
I feel deeply confused, to be honest, right now.
The song is a strange collage of retro reference points, mid-aughts Gossip Girl placement pop, the soundtrack to Disney's live-action Maleficent, and yes, really, Right Said Fred's I'm Too Sexy, except devoid of the self-effacing humor and wit. No idea? All right, let's do some lyrics. Starts like this. I don't like your little games. Don't like your tilted stage. The role you made me play. Of the fool, no, I don't like you. I don't like your perfect crime. How you laugh when you lie. You said the gun was mine. Isn't cool. No, I don't like you.
You said the gun wasn't mine. That's like,
It's somebody you know. Not Dua Lipa.
Is it someone I know?
100% sure.
It's not Taylor Swift.
It is Taylor Swift. But I got smarter. I got harder in the nick of time. Honey, I rose up from the dead.
Nick of time. With red underline.
Yep. You're about to get to the title.
And you get me twice, say, ooh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. This one?
That's the name of the song. She says it 8 times in the chorus. The chorus is just her saying, look what you made me do 8 times.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the song?
I mean, this isn't one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs, but like, she's fantastic. I kind of like, I'm so thrown by these by these reviews.
So I will say too, the Right Said Fred bit surprised me, but apparently this song contains an interpolation of I'm Too Sexy, the 1991 hit by the English pop group Right Said Fred. They actually received a songwriting credit because of this. I didn't make it to that far into the song. I listened to it for about a minute. It doesn't really sound like a Taylor Swift song.
Mm-mm. She was
But
pissed in 2017.
she seemed pretty angry. Yeah.
Okay, Jeff, as we know, the name of this podcast that we're going to listen to and going to review is called The Vanishing Cyclist. So I thought, well, that seems odd. We don't know yet what has happened to the cyclist other than they vanished. But it kind of got me thinking, like, what other weird, obscure, bizarre things have happened to cyclists around the world?
Oh, I almost went in this direction. I'm glad you did.
We're going to jump into a segment called Spokes, Suspects, and Strange Sightings.
Your segments have titles.
In 2017, police in Clearwater, Florida. Have you ever been to Clearwater, Jeff?
I don't think so.
Okay. They pulled over a cyclist after witnessing him perform an almost superhuman feat of balance and strength. He was arrested for grand theft after officers realized he was pedaling down the street while balancing what on his handlebars?
Oh, it's a Florida story. It could be anything.
A fully functional ATM machine. B, 100-pound commercial pool heater. C, a 7-foot taxidermied alligator. Or D, a neighbour's outdoor industrial air conditioning unit.
I mean, the funniest one is the alligator.
Is that
should
what you're
be
gonna
that
go
one.
for?
Well, it should be a live alligator, but I'm going to go with that one. Yes.
Okay, you're wrong. Woohoo! It's actually the 100-pound commercial pool heater. I mean, all of these are pretty crazy to think of someone being able to balance them on a bike, but it is in fact the pool heater. The man claimed he found it in the trash, but police noted that pedaling a bike while balancing a massive metal heater is both a crime and also maybe an accidental Olympic level workout.
Seems really hard. Yeah.
Seems real hard. Okay, next up is a true or false. During the 1904 Tour de France, do you know what the Tour de France is, Jeff?
I believe it's a bike race in France.
The true crime vibes were so high that the race was nearly cancelled. One of the main reasons was that fans of rider Antoine Faré, I think, laid an ambush in the middle of a stage, physically assaulting his rivals with sticks and stones to ensure their favourite stayed in the lead. Is that true or false?
Oh, it's a true-false question.
I said that at the start.
You know, sticks and stones can break people's bones.
But did they, in fact, do that, or did they call names? And names, in fact, would never hurt anyone. Lies!
I'm going to say true.
It is true. The early years of the tour were pure anarchy. Fans would wait in the woods to beat up riders, and some cyclists were even caught taking trains for half the race or putting itching powder in their opponent's shorts.
Amazing. Also,
Incredible.
I'm really glad they cleaned it up in time for Lance Armstrong to really abide by the rules and keep that sport clean.
Yeah, absolutely. Different types of powder being used there. Okay, this is a fill in the blank, Jeff. In the late 19th century, this is a fill in the blank, I said that, but I'm just going to repeat it because it seemed like you didn't listen to that the last time.
I might not
In
be
the late
paying full
19th
attention.
Okay. In the late 19th century, as the cycling craze took off, male doctors who were terrified of women's newfound mobility invented a fake medical condition to scare women off their bikes. This condition was called bicycle what?
You said it was a fill in the blank, but do I not have choices?
No. If you are really struggling, I can give you some of the side effects, apparently.
Okay, give me some side effects.
It was said to cause a permanent expression of clenched teeth, bulging eyes, and a weary jaw due to the strain of balancing.
That seems like the wrong body part to be affected by riding a bike. Am I wrong? Like that's
I wasn't. That's not where I was going with this.
I just I thought I remember when women wanted to be astronauts, and they were like, oh, women can't go into space. Like, what if they want to have children, or what if they get their period, or what if they have to pee? Like, how could they possibly pee in space? They're women. No one even knows how they pee. It's an actual quote from NASA, I think. Okay, those are all the things around like the face. What is it's something blank. What's the word before blank? Bicycle. Bicycle face.
Yes, bicycle face was a genuine medical warning published in journals, apparently. It was essentially a Victorian scare tactic to keep women from travelling unaccompanied.
Bicycle face. They would get bicycle face.
Yeah.
Well, it would help if they just smiled more.
I mean, like what? What do they have to be annoyed about? Apparently the term was popularised by Dr. Arthur Shadwell in a series of articles warning that the anxious effort of balancing a bicycle caused permanent facial disfigurement in women.
I mean, and if you're not,
I have the link to the article.
What value do you have in this world?
Indeed. Okay. 2 more. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
The next one is multiple choice. In 2021, professional cyclist Antonio Tiberi, who lived in the tiny nation of San Marino, found himself in international legal trouble. He was fined €4,000 and suspended from his team for a bizarre criminal act involving a new air rifle he was testing from his window. What did he shoot? A. The local Minister of Tourism's cat. B. The tyres of a passing police cruiser. C. A state-owned surveillance drone. Or D. The wig off the head of a neighbouring diplomat.
Wait, what does this have to do with cycling? He was a cyclist?
He was a professional cyclist.
And he had an air rifle.
Mm-hmm. And he was testing it out his
the
window.
Wig. I want it to be the wig.
Okay. It's incorrect. It is in fact the cat. The local Minister of Tourism's cat. Tiberi claimed he was just aiming for the cat's head to see if he could hit it. Not expecting to actually kill the cat. He full on killed the cat.
For its head to see if he could hit it. I didn't mean to kill it. I just aimed a gun at its head and shot?
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you do that? It's a cat.
I don't know. But the Minister of Tourism, Federico Pedini Amanti, was apparently very powerful and was unhappy about this. So he was fined €4,000 and suspended from his team.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. Last one. We're going to Canada. Are you ready? You've been to
Yes.
Canada. Have you been to British Columbia?
I don't think so. Where's Vancouver?
Okay.
Is Vancouver? I don't know my Canadian provinces.
I think it might be actually British Columbia.
Yeah, I have been to British Columbia. Yes.
Great.
Lovely. Like it there.
In 1998, a mountain biker in British Columbia, Canada, inadvertently helped solve a decade-old missing person case because this is true or false. Because his bike tire got stuck on a route that turned out to be a human tibia sticking out of the ground.
True.
False. It's actually weirder. In a famous Canadian case, a mountain biker crashed his bike and while dusting himself off, looked down and found a human skull, partially buried. This discovery directly led to the identification of a man who had been missing for over 20 years.
Wow.
Turning the casual bike ride into a major forensic investigation.
Why aren't we covering that story?
I don't know.
That sounds pretty cool.
We should. Similar cases have occurred globally, including a 2009 discovery in Whitehorse, Yukon, where a biker found a skull that solved a 10-year-old disappearance. The 10-year-old disappearance of Terry Faye Vong. Wild.
I mean, it's different. I mean, the Law and Order thing is like runners always come across bodies, right? So it makes sense that cyclists, too, they're out in the woods. That's where the bodies are. Let's let's travel to Scotland. I have 2 sets of reviews from attractions in the scene of our crime. So our scene of our crime is Fort William,
Jeff, before we
Scotland.
travel to Scotland, I think we should travel closer. I think we should travel to patreon.com/so-much-crime, so little time, because you won't find any dead bodies there, although I suppose you might. Actually, we discuss them from time to time. But you will find is a place to support this teeny tiny podcast and keep us, I don't know, I lost the run on myself. I'm winded from running to that patreon.com/so-much-crime, so little time. But if you get there, you don't have to do anything other than support us and enjoy all of the different things that we provide. Like early release episodes, bonus content, me slagging Jeff about being old, Jeff talking about running marathons. Join us on patreon.com/so-much-crime, so little time. Thank you.
All right, I want to go to Fort William in Scotland. I looked up. Have you been to Fort William in Scotland?
I've actually never been to Scotland before.
I think we've talked about this before because I think we've been to Scotland before for at least one crime. But, okay, Fort William, I also have never been to Scotland. But there were 2 attractions that looked interesting. One was the West Highland Museum. This is one of the highest rated attractions there. It's a museum. It's a converted bank that has exhibits on regional life, including Jacobite and archaeological collections. Anyway, that's what it is. People love it. 4.8 reviews, stars out of 337 reviews on Google. But I have one to share. It's very short.
Okay.
It's 1 star
Okay.
from 4 years ago. Local guide named Buffalo Bill, who has 272 reviews. He said, and I quote in full, "Everyone wearing masks. I didn't go in. Not sure what's going on. Everyone must have lost the plot."
What year
That's his
was
full
this?
review. It says 4 years ago, but let me read the response from the owner. The owner said, and again, the reviewer's name is Buffalo Bill. This is what the owner said. "Dear Billy, yes, you are correct. Everyone in the museum is wearing masks in accordance with current Scottish government rules, which advise that mask wearing is mandatory in enclosed public spaces, including museums. You describe yourself as, quote, a local guide. So I'm very surprised that you are not up to date on current legislation in the area you are visiting. We will remove mask wearing rules when we are permitted to do so by the Scottish government. I suspect you are the gentleman who visited on Friday afternoon and swore at our 83-year-old volunteer when he politely explained these rules to you. If this was you, you should be very ashamed of yourself."
Oh, Buffalo Bill.
I know, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I went down a bit of a rabbit hole on Buffalo Bill and read a lot of his other reviews. And he's got 272 reviews. Loves a lot of things. A lot of short reviews. That's how you get to 272. But when I finally scrolled back to about 4 or 5 years ago, there's a lot of reviews about the plandemic, about masks, about how he should be exempt from any vaccine rules and he doesn't have to carry some stupid card. Yeah, he's got some opinions on some things. So, anyway.
Is he American?
No, he's British.
Ah.
Very British.
Mm.
Anyway. All right. So that was from the West Highland Museum. And then my last thing is from another big attraction in Fort William called Neptune's Staircase.
Oh.
Okay. So this is a bit of a journey. I have a bunch of little one-liner reviews here that all kind of interrelate. So Neptune's Staircase has 4.5 stars out of 4,895. Again, that museum had only 337. This one has almost 5,000 reviews. People go to Neptune's Staircase and they like it, but not these people. All right, this one, 1-star review, all it says is, this is from someone named Matt. It's a bunch of lochs between 2 lochs connected by a canal. Ta-da. And then King Rednax said, 1 out of 10. No Neptune, no real staircase. And then Joe Johnston said, no information or visitor center. Cafe was poor quality. Okay, now I thought that was weird, but then wait. This next person, whose name is Bipin Raj, said, great tourist attraction with a horrific place to have a latte. No thanks. Okay, now my last one.
A horrific place to have a latte, like, should be the name of, I don't know, something.
Last one is from Raleigh McBack. And these are all 1-star reviews. This person is a little longer. It says, while traveling as a tourist in Fort William, I hiked to Neptune's Staircase on a rainy, cold day in May 2022. I just wanted to have a coffee in the hotel/cafe and kindly asked for it. The waiter and the owner were very unfriendly, gave me the coffee, but I had to drink it outside in the rain. To this day, I don't know why.
Is it because you were soaking wet?
What's the deal with coffee at this? It's a Neptune Staircase is a series of interlocking locks. It's like a canal that like gets boats up a hill, basically. Somehow that's a tourist attraction in Scotland. I don't know. It does look cool. I looked at the pictures. It looks kind of cool.
I presume it's to do with like the boats like move up and down the canals. That's the tourist attraction. There's something similar in Seattle.
Okay, a place I might go and expect to get a good cup of coffee.
Why wouldn't you expect to get a good cup of coffee in Scotland?
I wouldn't go to the Lochs for coffee. Like I wouldn't.
But if there's a coffee shop,
okay,
you expect to be able to get coffee. Like I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, but also you're wrong because like if there's a coffee shop, you expect that one thing that they might sell is coffee. I thought the latte was the funniest one.
Kim Rednax, who said no Neptune, no real staircase. I don't know if they were expecting Neptune to be there. Anyway, and like, that's what I got.
Oh my God, I wanted to climb some stairs today, but instead I have to sit in a boat.
Who's disappointed to not see stairs?
But also, like, did you research where you were going? Like, did you just see the name and be like, yeah, let's go there?
Neptune Staircase. They probably have a good latte, and I probably don't have to stand in the rain. You're in Scotland. You're going to stand in the rain. It comes with the territory.
Just expect it.
All right. That's the time machine. Thank you so much for all of that. Okay, let's do a quick preview of this pod. So this podcast is called The Vanishing Cyclist. This came out earlier this year in 2026. Came out in like January, February. There are 6 episodes. Our host is Jane McSorley. And the episodes are mostly about 20 minutes, although the first one's only like 9. It's super short. Dee, what's the story?
Yeah, so the story is Tony Parsons set off for a charity cycle through the Highlands of Scotland. His family assumed he would return with tales to tell, but Tony didn't return. He never came back. The question here that is answered throughout this podcast is how could someone vanish on a busy road with no trace of what happened? Okay, Jeff, you brought this to us.
I did.
Why did you pick it? Could you not find one called The Vanishing Runner?
No. I don't know if you've followed our podcast for the last few weeks, but it's been a lot of horrific murder. And we've done some really dark stuff. And I was looking for a lighter true crime story. And I thought, oh, Vanishing Cyclist. That seems lighter. I was trying to not be broken.
New fear activated.
Sure. That and it's BBC. Like we've done a bunch of BBC podcasts. We haven't done one from this particular show. So this show called Crime Next Door, they've got a bunch of these short little series that look kind of interesting, some quirky sounding true crime stories. And this just sounded very different from anything we've done before.
Have you completed any charity cycle races before?
No. Have you?
No.
Let me ask you this. What's the furthest you've ever ridden on a bike?
I'm going to have to fact check this with my husband. Maybe 25 or 30 kilometers? Maybe more, actually. We went, I think more. One summer we brought our bikes down to Wexford where he has a place, or his parents have a place, and we cycled from Wexford, which is down south, across. We got like one of those car ferry things over and cycled up to a hotel nearby and stayed there for a night or two.
That sounds nice.
That's pretty fun. I don't know. I can't remember how long it was. It might have been longer than 20 kilometers because 20 kilometers is about an hour, less than an hour, 45 minutes maybe cycle.
Wait, is that why your face looks like that?
Bicycle face. The bulging eyes, the clenched jaw. Some people call it resting bitch face, but apparently in Victorian times. I definitely don't have a resting bitch face.
I've never done a charity ride. I have I have gone on a fairly long ride. Well, fairly long, I guess that's subjective. I think the longest I've done is like 25 miles, which is what? I don't know what that is in kilometers.
More.
Yeah, I guess. Not that much more, though. It's not that much different. There's a loop that I do around where we live that is like a 25-mile loop that I've done several times and is really nice out by the bay. All right, what's your excitement level for this?
I mean, it's short.
Try to sell it a little bit more.
I'm feeling kind of neutral about it, but I feel like I don't know enough. I mean, it's not great that Tony didn't come back. I'm not okay with that. I'm trying to think what happened to him. Like, my assumption here is he got hit.
Sure. Yeah. Nothing good.
But if he got hit, then how would he not be found? Because he'd just be
question.
like off the cycle. I don't know. Like, I look forward to discussing it. I love a good podcast.
Can I tell you as a quick side note that has nothing to do with the story? I was reading an article in the paper the other day about this family that disappeared in like the 1960s. Just disappeared out of the blue. The whole family like 4 or 5. And they just found them, like 60 years later. I think this is in Oregon. They went off the road into a river and they found the car. Still had a couple of bodies in it, like obviously like completely decomposed. And they positively identified them as the family. But yeah, they basically went off the road, in kind of a somewhat rural location, but just like nobody, like they were underwater. So nobody found them for decades and decades. So that happens sometimes.
Jesus.
Anyway.
I thought you wanted to bring something light to the podcast, Jeff.
Whole family, children,
Another
parents,
near
all dead.
New fear unlocked.
Yeah. I used to think about that when we lived in Colorado because we drive up to Rocky Mountain National Park and most of the way up you're driving along the river. Like that's the way the road just goes up the river. And particularly in the spring when the river runs kind of high, it's just like, oh, you're just like doing this windy mountain road alongside a fast moving river. And if you go off the road, like there's no like guardrails or anything.
Yeah. So this is actually one of the things as like I'm reading about this charity cycle through the Highlands of Scotland. Why I was actually asking about the cycle because a number of our friends in recent years have done a cycle around the Ring of Kerry. Have you ever heard of the Ring of Kerry?
That sounds familiar. I'm not sure. What is it?
You should Google it. It's really beautiful.
Dang, this is pretty. Wow.
I know, right?
Go to there.
It's really fabulous. But you can see, like, you're just at the side of a cliff.
I think you are going to get caught up in the story and enjoy it quite a bit.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
I think you're going to focus in on the sport, the cycling aspect of the story.
That is a fair prediction.
You'd be like, I wanted to hear more about the bikes and less about the crimes.
There was a moment where I found this and I thought, oh, I wonder if there is one about a runner.
Did you look?
No, I got to save something for the future. Start with cycling.
Then we'll do swimming. About it.
Then we'll do running.
Like a full triathlon.
Get the full triathlon. Why not? We did a swimming one. We did one about that involved swimming. That guy who swam across that loch in Scotland and then faked his death off the coast of California.
Yeah,
that guy was not a good guy.
He's a bit bonkers, yeah.
Yeah. But this is harder because this seems like it's a good person who was trying to do a nice thing and then he disappeared, and it's going to be a bummer. But I think it's going to be a well-made podcast. It's BBC. They do good work.
I mean, he could also have, like, ran away. Like, he just spoke about the other guy who faked his own death. And didn't he fake his own death? And, like, his son was, like, at the side of the beach.
Yeah.
My God, I can't speak. The side of the beach.
That's true. Yes, that's true.
So, like, that's pretty bad. So, I don't know.
I'd be shocked if that's the story, but it could be. We'll find out. Let's find out. Let's listen. Let's come back.
It would feel pretty bad if, like, the 2 podcasts you chose about Scotland were about 2 lads who just, like, faked their own demise to run away from their family.
It would make me think something about Scotland.
Yeah. It would make me think something about your choice in podcasts from Scotland, I think.
They make such good whiskey, though. Before we go, just a quick note to leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought of our time machine, of our trivia, of our reviews. If you have been to Scotland, if you've been to Neptune's staircase, if you know a good place to get a cup of coffee that also involves watching boats? We're
good latte,
we're looking
in particular.
looking for tips. And you know a great place to get a good cup of coffee? It's that place on Spotify where you leave the star ratings. If you give 5 stars, we'll make you a great cup of coffee. That is not a promise. It's not a legally binding contract, but it does help other people find the show.
We will make a good cup of coffee and think of you're generous. How generous you were with your time and your stars.
And lastly, if you are at a coffee shop listening to this right now, why don't you take out your earbuds, turn to someone, anyone, or just announce it loudly to the whole coffee shop. Hey, everybody, I got a podcast for you.
Or, do you know what could be more effective? If you disconnect your phone from your headphones and put the volume up really high and just play the part that we say, so much crime, so little time. And people might be like, what's that? I should listen.
All right. All good ideas in a brainstorm. I have one more.
Okay.
When you go to order your coffee, instead of giving your name, when they say, what's the name for the coffee? Say, the name is So Much Crime, So Little Time is a great podcast and everyone in this coffee shop should listen to it.
Or
think about it.
When you go and you order your coffee, you could say to them, hey, when you're doing that little design on the top of my coffee, can you write So Much Crime, So Little Time? And put the little symbol on top. I think they'd really appreciate that. So Much Crime, So Little Time is a production of MimeGov Media. The executive producer is Paxton Calariso. Our associate producer is Blythe Ty. Theme music was composed by Vyacheslav Starostin. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to this show in your podcast app. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and a review. Even better, tell your friends. To join the discussion, look for us on social media. Check out the show notes for all the links. Thanks for listening.
We're done. I think we did this, didn't we? We're done with this episode.
I don't know. Are we? Feels like we just went off the rails.
No, we said the Starbucks, the whole coffee shop thing. Well, that was a great ending. Nailed it. I'm stopping recording.